Welcome back. There's certainly been a lot of talk in the last couple of days, especially around the intervention in the US dollar yen by the Bank of Japan, as well as the US Treasury, a coordinated effort. Now, by the end of July, around 163 yen bought you one US dollar. And then suddenly things changed. The Bank of Japan sold some of the foreign reserves, they sold US dollars, and they bought yen. So I think supply and demand. On the other side of the aisle, the United States Treasury, working through the Federal Reserve of New York, they actually sold euros and they used the proceeds of that to buy yen to strengthen things. And I think this intervention itself must tell you that things were in the background starting to get out of hand because there's a very strong interaction between the United States and Japan, where Japan is basically, in a way, a bank of free money for the United States. Now, of course, Japan also imports a lot of energy, and with the war in Iran and closures in the Strait of Hormuz and the Red Sea issues and Brent oil prices rising, these energy costs will start to become inflationary in Japan. And so they had to intervene to get inflation down. That's also only part of the story, I know, because the interest rate differentials between Japan and the United States has various effects on the international finance markets. So this was the first time that Japan and the United States has intervened together since 1998, and it is quite a big deal. Now, a yen intervention, it sounds very complicated, but it is, at its base, a very simple transaction, actually. The Japanese Ministry of Finance makes the decision and they instruct the Bank of Japan. And what they normally do is they sell some of their foreign reserves, usually US dollars, and they use those US dollars to buy yen. And that will strengthen the yen because of the simple mechanism of supply and demand. When the United States joins this effort, it is normally a decision made by the Treasury, and they will instruct the Federal Reserve of New York and facilitate these transactions. What was interesting about the this intervention is that the United States, when they intervened, they actually sold euros and they used that to buy yen. Now, between late April and late May 2026, Bank of Japan spent around 11.7 trillion yen buying their own currency. This was roughly around 73 billion US dollars. And very quickly, the yen went from around 160 to 155. And of course, the short sellers felt the pain and they had to close their positions. And this worked for a while, but slowly the position weakened again, or the yen weakened again. And by July, as we said, we were back at around 163 yen to the dollar. Now, this doesn't say that or will prove that these interventions don't work. It shows that they do work, but they only worked for a while. And one of the things is, of course, that it doesn't change the fundamentals. It is like a patch, like a plaster on a wound. And the question is, of course, will this last? The dynamic between the two countries is obviously quite interesting. Um, each have got their own inflation targets and their own population to look after in terms of inflation. The yen becomes too weak, and Japan has got a lot of energy imports. Well, inflation will rise in Japan, which will mean higher interest rates. But higher interest rates will also attract investors, which in the US might mean some US bonds might be sold and moved to Japan, especially by the holders of these bonds living in Japan. And this will mean that bond yields will climb and interest rates in the United States will climb. And this is where this dynamic comes in. And we will look at this in more detail in further videos. And so the question now becomes, can Japan hold the line? How many interventions will it take? And will the United States keep on supporting them? As I said, it's not the first time that this has happened. The last time was in 1998. But this one really is a bit interesting because the whole world is changing with Trump and his tariffs real pressure in terms of energy is now being put on Japan, and inflation there might go up, meaning that they've got to change their rates. And so we will have to keep an eye on the Bank of Japan and inflation in Japan and what they are going to do in terms of rates and if this gap is going to close. We will have to take a look at what speculators are going to do in the market or how they react to this. There's a lot of money in this Forex market. And of course, we have to keep an eye on the United States. In future videos, I will go into a little bit about how did this happen? I mean, how did Japan become the free money capital of the world? Why did they set themselves up like this? And as we will see from that, it happened at the Plaza Accords, and the US had a lot to do with this. So there's a big dynamic between the USA and Japan, Japan being the, like I say, the free money. And if that era starts to come to an end, it will have a big impact on the world of finance and on your own finances. So we will look at the history of this in future videos. For now, I'm going to close this video and thank you for listening, and I will talk to you soon.